Hey guys, well we have made it to Boston week 3. Well done for those of you that are still with us. I haven't done a draw yet, so today I will do a draw for week 1 and week 2. So two separate individuals will win themselves one of my favourite personal development books, which I will post directly to you. So if you've completed all of the tasks and watched the video from week 1 and week 2, please comment in the thread below on this video. I'll pop all the names into a little hat this evening and I will pull out 2 winners. Hopefully you have taken lots and lots from the tasks. Hopefully you've buddied up with some friends, worked alongside people that you know and people that you love, and hopefully you've created some space for yourself to thrive in what has been and is a difficult season for everybody. So week 3, this will be our last video and we will bring it to an end this week on Friday when we do the last and final task. That brings us to it finally. And so this week I wanted to talk about something that people have been talking to me a lot about, asking me for a lot of tips, ideas, what I do, what I suggest to do, and that is motivation. Motivation is this beautiful feeling, and when we have motivation on our side, it feels wonderful and we feel like we can conquer the world. And when things don't feel so motivating, and when we don't have motivation on our side, we can feel like we struggle even to do the smallest things. You know, we all know it's great to get up and get out in the fresh air, but I have spoke to so many people this past week or 2 weeks that say, I know I need to get up, I know I need to get out, but I just have no motivation to do it. I can't get myself to do the things that I don't want to do. And so I want to give you a few tips on motivation, and particularly in times when there's lots of pressure, or in times when there is uncertainty, when we're out of routine. Oftentimes we build, as human beings, we build these routines around ourselves because they help us get up and get out and get on with the day. When we fall out of routine, so for example, when you come back from holidays and you're out of the routine of getting up early and going to work or studying or whatever it is that you do regularly, it can be really, really hard to get back into that routine, and it can take us a little while for the motivation to come back. The same as on a Monday morning. After a weekend, Monday morning is usually the hardest time for people because we've had a little bit of time out of the routine of the alarm clock going off early, getting up, getting out, cracking on with work, and so Monday morning can be quite difficult. And often what it is we've had a little bit of a break from the routine, and so to get back in it is often quite hard. I liken it to putting on my running trainers and tying my laces. That for me is the hardest part of any run. Give me a hill, I'll run it. Give me, an uphill climb, I'll do it. The hardest part is putting the trainers on, doing up the laces, committing to walking out that front door and doing the session, doing the workout, going for the run, going for the brisk walk. That always seems to be the hardest part. And so I know many people are struggling because routine is so different and because there's so much chopping and changing. One week it's this, another week it's this, then we're doing this, then we're not doing this, now we're changing it, now we're not changing it. It can really, really impact motivation. And so first things I wanted to say about motivation is this. Motivation is a feeling. And if you build your life on your feelings, you will build life on the sand. Can you imagine designing your perfect house? We just took the boys on a beautiful walk through the countryside and we came across the most beautiful house still being built, absolutely gorgeous, big glass front, flat roof, different stone, brick, big grey front door, beautiful, beautiful home. Can you imagine designing your most beautiful home and then picking a location on the beach with the sand that's unstable, that's unsettled, and going to work and building this beautiful property on the sand. We wouldn't do that because we know, even though we're not, I'm not a builder, but I know we don't build on unstable ground. We don't build on ground that's always changing because it won't hold the house. The foundations have to go in really deep. We have to build on something solid. Living by our feelings is like building a life on the sand. We can live by them. We can build life on the sand. And the reality is, many people, if not the majority of people, build life on their feelings. If I wake up tomorrow morning and I don't feel like it, if I wake up tomorrow morning and I feel down, if I wake up tomorrow morning and I feel in low mood, if I wake up tomorrow morning and I feel unmotivated, then I can either go with those feelings and I can let them run me, or I can take some positive action to shift some of that unmotivated feeling that I've got on the inside of me. John Maxwell has this beautiful quote, and I regularly remind myself of it on the days when I wake up and I don't feel very motivated. And here's what he says. He says, positive motion interrupts negative emotion. I'm sure there has been bags and bags for all of us of negative emotion. This past year has been a whirlwind, and it's hit all of us at different points of the year, particularly now. It's January, it's dark, it's cold, we're still in lockdown. Who thought we were going to still be in lockdown? And so these negative emotions have a way sometimes of gripping us. But positive motion in a moment can interrupt those negative feelings. What is positive motion? Stick your favorite music on and dance around your front room like you are 18, back in the biggest club you ever entered. Throw your hands in the air, close the curtains so the neighbours don't look in, and go wild. And then see how your negative emotions are interrupted for just a moment. Joy and happiness and freedom flows through your veins. Or on the days when negative emotions have gripped you and motivation is really, really low and you're feeling a bit lethargic and I just can't face it, throw your shoes on, get yourself out in the crisp, cold air, walk in the rain, run in the rain, walk in the snow, walk in the icy, icy air. It re-energizes you. It brushes the cobwebs away. It has a way of interrupting those negative emotions. Sometimes if I feel that in the same way that everyone else does, like negative emotions just have a grip of my heart and my mind on a particular day or over a particular week, I find my favorite playlist on my phone. I stick my earphones in and I go walking. I am a woman on a mission. No one can tell from the outside, but what I'm doing is I'm shifting the bag of this negative energy and this demotivated feeling flat. Because here's the reality: if we live life based on our feelings, we build a life based on the sand. We build a life where feelings are so fickle. Some days we're up, some days we're down, some days we're up, some days we're down, and it determines how we live and it determines who we become. But imagine having a superpower that says, even when I don't feel it, even when I feel lethargic, I can interrupt the negative feelings and the negative emotion. I can take personal responsibility and I can boost these feelings of energy. I can boost these feelings of feeling revitalized. I can boost these feelings by just creating small periods throughout the day where I do something to energize me. Maybe it's having a phone call with somebody that you love. Sometimes for me, it's just putting on a podcast. Words are so powerful. Sometimes all you need is to hear words that inspire your heart and your soul, and they interrupt the negative emotion. They kind of snap you back and you think, it's okay, I've got it. Or sometimes I will read a really powerful quote, or I'll read a really powerful page in a book, and it will just remind me, it's okay. It feels tough today, but I'm going to be okay. And sometimes we have to search for and look for things that can help interrupt these negative, flattening feelings. Here's some things that help the flattening feelings stay flat. Feed yourself more negative news, more negative energy. Negative Nancy who wants to ring you for a chat. Negative Nathan who wants to pull down every man and his dog. Those people demotivate you. Those people make you feel flat. Scroll Instagram, scroll Facebook for an hour and compare your life to Sandra down the road and Helen who lives behind and Maria who lives on the other street. Compare yourself for an hour with the feeds of everybody's false social media. That will make you feel flat. Comparison is one of the greatest thieves of joy. That will make you feel demotivated. Or make a decision. I'm going to build my life on something far firmer than sand. I'm going to build my life on something that's not up one day and down the next and up one day and down the next. Our feelings are so fickle. If we depend on them, we are sure to have a life that is like a roller coaster. However, if we acknowledge our feelings, today I feel X, Y, and Z, that's okay. Your feelings are never wrong. But we make a decision that I'm not going to live by them just because today I feel unmotivated and I feel a bit flat and I feel a bit meh. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to stick my trainers on and get out in the fresh air. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to dance in my front room until I sweat. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to do that workout that I committed to doing every day, Monday to Friday. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to eat clean. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to stay dry January as dry January. And so we can build a life above our feelings. Feelings are really important because they alert us to the things going on in our head and our heart. And so I'm not saying in any way cut off your feelings, don't acknowledge them. No, it's really important to acknowledge our feelings. I'm feeling a little bit flat today. You know what? I'm going to make my favourite cup of coffee this morning. I'm feeling a little bit unmotivated. You know what? I'm going to give myself an extra walk in the afternoon. I'm feeling a bit down. I'm going to make sure I call that friend who I know always has something positive to say. I'm feeling a bit like totally overwhelmed and fed up. So you know what? I'm going to leave the news channel off today and I'm going to play some music that inspires me. I'm going to play some music that lifts my soul. If you came to my house very early in the morning before the sun's up, when I'm getting my kids up for school, you would find candles lit and you would hear beautiful music playing. Why? Because I know some mornings I wake up, and particularly in the middle of January, in the middle of a lockdown, I don't feel particularly happy or joyful or on top of the world. But I've learned that my feelings, whilst they're really important to direct me and help me and guide me, I can't build my day on them. And so I create other things around those feelings to know this is a tough season. I'm going to light a candle. I'm going to play some beautiful music. I'm going to create a calm atmosphere. I'm going to lift my own spirit and my own soul at the beginning of the day. And so motivation is a feeling. We can't build our life depending on it. We have to build habits and disciplines, which is what we've talked lots about in the previous few videos and also in the different tasks. Habits and disciplines are what builds life. If we build life based on our feelings, some days we'll be up, some days we'll be down. We never build consistency within our lives. So don't be someone who builds life on shaky feelings. Yes, we will all have mornings where we wake up, where we feel overwhelmed, where we want to pull the duvet back over our head. And it is healthy and it is good to acknowledge those feelings. I actually use a journal to write all those feelings down. I just let them flow from my head to my heart and then out on paper. Sometimes if they get a little bit stuck here, then I'll go for a long walk with a friend, or I'll sit down and have a deep conversation with my husband, or I'll call my mum or a sister, or somebody that really gets me, somebody that I can be vulnerable with, somebody that I can be honest with. And just talking it out keeps my emotions in flow. It keeps them flowing. There's nothing worse than pent up emotion. When we don't let stuff out, when we let stuff sit in here, we don't have a way that we can keep it flowing, stuff gets pent up, and that's when we run into difficulty. That's when we can build anxiety. That's when things like anger and different things like that bottle up, and it comes out in other ways. Sometimes it comes out in poorly health, sometimes it comes out in poor mental health. So emotions are really healthy. They're our body's way of warning signs to tell us, warning, feeling a bit down today, warning, feeling a little bit vulnerable today. So it's important we listen and acknowledge them, but it is also really important that we don't let them run our day. And even though we may feel low motivation, even though we may feel like we want to pull the duvet back over our head, making decisions to still serve ourselves well. One of the best being get up and get out, walk in fresh air. I read something the other day and it said, nature always gives us far more than we came for. A walk in nature always fills our heart and our soul, even if we don't notice. I was walking the other morning the dog really early before the sun came up, and I was halfway round my route and I realised, oh my goodness, the trees are alive. It's like a concert in the trees around me, and I hadn't noticed. My head had been so stuck in my thoughts and in my own head that I hadn't noticed the trees were alive. The sound of the birds was massive, but I hadn't heard it for probably half an hour. I'd been so stuck in my own head, and so for the last half hour I got out of my own head. And I let that beautiful sound just fill my spirit and my soul and lift my spirits for the day. And I guarantee I lived on that tune for the rest of the day. It fills me up. So getting up, getting out, making sure that we connect. If you're living on your own, incredibly important to pick up that phone and FaceTime. If you're living with people, really important not just to be ships in the night cohabiting. Connect with the people in the four walls of your home. Connect online, connect with the people that we know and love. Connection does wonders for our heart and for our soul. There will be days when motivation is low, and that's okay. And there will be days when emotions feel overwhelming and feel negative, and that is okay. But we can still build great disciplines and great habits into life so that our emotions don't toss us on this wild, crazy sea all over the place without us having great anchors of great disciplines and great habits. I wish you the best week. I am so glad that you've joined us on this journey. I truly do hope that you have taken loads of gold nuggets from these sessions. I hope that the tasks have not only impacted you, but impacted the people that you know and the people that you love and the people in your corner of the world. I hope that you've taken lots and lots from it. We still have a week to go. I have got all the 3 tasks planned out this week for you already, starting with the first one tomorrow morning. Have a beautiful, beautiful week. Make sure to comment in the thread below if you've completed tasks from weeks 1 and week 2, and this evening I will pull out of the draw 2 names and will send a book of one of my favourite personal development books to both of you in the post. Have a beautiful week, stay safe, keep your head high. We're in this together and we can do it.